stay in the monasteries.
Well, the photograph was taken in summer 1974.
It was a Turkish Cypriot family.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
So we can identify.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. Erol galiba soru soracak.
I had a short question.
Yeah.
Do you know which application was used to create these 3D models?
Actually, honest answer, I work with people who do all that stuff. So what I can do is I can send you what they call the tech spec, the list of softwares and hardwares, and that'll answer your question off the top of my head now. Sorry.
Maybe I've missed it. There's a lot of British documentaries, film documentaries, and also kind of advertisement movies, 2 or 3 minutes long. Have you looked into this one, or planning to do that?
No, that's in the chapter. The Pate News, and there's an island called, there's one just called Cyprus. There's another one called something about almost Arcadia. And again, all those are free now. You can access all of those online. There's no payment needed. The British used, especially in the 20s, needed Cyprus to become a more active part of the European market. And oranges, for example, they needed to stimulate awareness of Cypriot products that could be bought beyond Cyprus. So the Empire Marketing Board paid for several films to be made that would do that, that would try and stimulate. And there was a thing called the British Empire Exhibition in London in, I think, 1924, where every component part of the empire had its stall, had its room, and Cyprus, of course, had its part. So they made a film to be screened there with Cypriots. So the idea was that it would be a fairer representation in film of how Cyprus is being sold to the rest of the empire in the 1920s. But they're interesting films. Actually, in one of them you can see the tone changes a bit. After in the 1960s, it's described as an island of hatred. So you can see that, the attitude changed a bit. But
Any other comment, question? So thanks again.
Yeah, there is a question.
Sorry.
This is kind of unrelated, but how does one identify the type of architecture? Like, you talked about the cathedral. Does one just go, oh hey, it looks similar to this type of architecture, so this is this type of architecture?
There's a few ways to answer that. I mean, first of all, you know basic historical facts like when it was started, so that already puts you into a period. And you know that the architect almost certainly came from France or Germany, and that gives you a region. So you can start to compare styles. And then you can, with the cathedral in Famagusta, there is a surviving sketch of a window, which is perfect. It's the window from Famagusta. But it was for a cathedral in Germany, Cologne, I think. So automatically, because there's one sketch and the 2 windows are identical, and it's 700 years ago, before travel was easy, either the ideas or the architect has traveled from Germany to Cyprus. So there's ways to, I mean, just seeing something and describing it and saying that's similar to something else isn't really good enough. It's a start, but there's more scientific ways of,
We thank you again,
Pleasure.
and we look forward to the publication of the new book. In the meantime, we had our second episode of our Famagusta stories that I would like to gift it to you.
Thank you.
And we would like to have our partnership to go on in terms of logistics support.
Guaranteed.
We are always here, anytime you want.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
It's worth saying that these efforts are really, really significant because the first volume of this you gave to me a couple of years ago, and it's all used in the new book because this is a collection of stories from the people who know. You can't ignore those. These are precious. So thank you for not only the book but the whole idea of having conversations. That's crucial.
So our third will be on the way again. So maybe we cannot catch up with your book, but for another book.
For the next one.
Elif Hanım. Just a minute.
Teşekkür ediyoruz. Çok güzel bir sunum. Ben şeyi merak ediyorum. Yani kültürel miras politikanın üzerinde ama buradaki bütün tüketicilik çalışmalara onay veren kurumuz Michael Walsh'un da izinlerinde de o şekilde. Ama yayınlarında işgal bölgesi terimi kullanılıyor. Yani bu durumda yaklaşımını veya yazıp yazmayacağını veya bu kültürel miras konusunda bu politikanın üzerinde olmasıyla ilgili yanınızda durup işte bir mücadele veya tüm bu bilim insanların yaklaşımı nedir, nasıl düşünür? Bir merak ettim.
Elif Hanım's question is about your comment that the cultural heritage is on top of politics. But on the other hand, she is observing that you still keep using the phrase in occupied territory in some of your books. So she's wondering whether you will be using a different narrative in your upcoming book or not.
Normally what I do
Or
is...
even to support the change of that usage and the way.
Yani bastığımı hissediyor ve sürekli bütün hepsi yayınlarında yani buna birlikte mücadele edip de yani nasıl?
Can we struggle for this? If you feel any kind of pressure on you, that we can overcome this pressure together. This is the point. Yeah.
I don't recall using the term, but what I tend to do is, because it's an international, publishing is an international concern, somewhere near the start of any book or any article, you clarify that there is a place called the TRNC and that it's not internationally recognized. Or you put in parenthesis, a new state was declared in 1983. And so you try and get that done at the beginning so that you're free to then talk about heritage or art. I think just to try and not get deeply involved in politics, but to acknowledge that there's a division, there's an unresolved issue, is important. And you don't take a side in it. You just say there is an issue, there is a difference of opinion, there is a state that I've lived in, but that it's unrecognized by the majority of countries in the world. And I think just making that statement to help the readers to understand the rest of the article or the rest of the book is important, but I think it's important to be objective.
Aktarayım yoksa tamamdır. Yani neticede var olanı da yansıtmak zorundayız diyor Michael okuyucular için. Yani burada işte bir tanınmış devlet, bir tanınmamış devlet var. Ben de diyor yani bu tanınmamış devlette yaşadım. Dolayısıyla da hani uluslararası tanımlamalarıyla insanların anlayabileceği şekilde onu oraya koymamız lazım ki insanlar o ayrımın farkına varabilsin. Hangi ortamda ya da siyasi olarak nasıl tanımlanmış bir ortamda iş yaptığımıza dair ya da bu hikaye yazdığımıza dair yani birazcık da kaçınılmaz görür bunu. Yansıtmamız lazım diyor yani bunu tüm gerçekliği.
Sponsor parayı verir.
Efendim?
Sponsor parayı verir. Acı gerçekten.
Evet.
One day is change. We hope.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yani kısaca bir şey sorayım. Bu UNESCO konusundan ne düşünüyor? Yani bence fazlasıyla hak etmiştir. Özellikle Surlar ve Sur için. Bu konuda ne düşünüyor veya
Yeah, the question is about UNESCO listing of Famagusta Walled City, which we are also, as the NGO, working too much on it. And we just have declared this year as the year for UNESCO efforts and lobbying as the association. You watched our video, I also took your opinion on that. So the question is about the UNESCO process and the listing of Famagusta, how you evaluate it.
Well, it's a big process. It's an expensive process. It costs a lot of money to prepare a dossier for a UNESCO nomination, and you only get to do it once. So you need to get it right first time, because, well, you probably can make a nomination, but there's a time delay. So it's not something you rush into. It's something you approach very cautiously, and there are two different ways of doing it. There's either through the national leadership or through what's called a disputed territories nomination, which is where another country nominates you. It apparently happened in Jerusalem. I'm not sure.
In Myanmar, I think.
Yes,
Myanmar.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the decision that has to be made. Do you gamble and go through your own institutions of government to make the nomination, and it may or may not succeed? Or do you go through a proxy that, but I don't know. But I do know it's a long, slow, expensive process.
So at the end we can say that no solution process or no solution conditions affect Cyprus in everywhere. Everywhere. That's it. Sorry.
Olarak kısaca cevap şudur, yani çok uzun, meşakkatli, para gerektiren bir süreçtir ve bir kez şansınız vardır.
Yeah.
Çok iyi hazırlanmak zorundasınız bütün detaylara. İki alternatif vardır başvuruda. Bir, kimisa UNESCO sözleşmesine taraf, ulusal devlet o başvuru yapabilir, ya da bazı durumlarda çatışmalı bir coğrafyadaysanız, ki bizim durumumuz odur. Kudüs'te bunun benzeri görüldü.
Yeah.
Bir de Myanmar örneği var. O zaman da başka aracı bir devlet başvuruyu başlatır ve bir şekilde süreç ilerler, ama çok zahmetli bir süreç. Evet.
Peki bizde böyle bir şans var mı Serdar? Yani bir başka devletin başvurması gibi bir şeyiniz var mı?
Do you see
Bir
any chance
seçeneğiniz var
of
mı?
any other state to take the lead for the application process?
We're getting deeper and deeper into politics. That's what I said. I'm not going to.
Somut olmayan kültürel biraz var, başka şeyler var, yani çok detaylı oyunuz konuşuyor.
It would require somebody to do it, to take the initiative.
And who will be willing?
Well, that's the next question. But just if these questions interest you, somebody wrote a PhD just on this subject. A guy called Carlos Jaramillo, and it's a free download. So anyone can get
Can you
it.
send us the link
Yeah,
I can share?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an entire PhD just on this subject.
Okay.
What is the future of the heritage of Famagusta?
That helps a lot. Yeah.
And it involves a chapter on.
Does that include Walsh?
No.
Because I wonder what will happen to Giorgio's wall painting.
Yeah. Well.
It needs urgent attention.
Yeah. There's several of them in that house actually. There's a painting of St. Barnabas as well, and there's a few. But no, his PhD is not about for Russia. It's just the walled city. So it's good guidance.
And also, I don't know if we can extend it up to Varosha when it comes to UNESCO listing. Perhaps it will be more focused on Walled City rather than Varosha, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks a lot again. Teşekkür ederim.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very informative. Thank you very much.